Those pan and tilt assemblies I ordered from the United Kingdom arrived today. I I did it for two reasons. Well, three reasons. First reason was I just wanted to see if they'd ship them if I ordered them. Second reason was I want them. I want this 390-degree servo that's in this box and the other one that's in this box. The other servo that's in there is like a 60-degree, so eh. It is nice metal geared though. Anyway, if we look up on the screen real quick, this is what I ordered. I ordered two of these. I didn't order them at this price. And now they're available pre-order. I guess that's when they get them back in stock. I must have knocked them out of stock on something they've been selling for almost 10 years. I paid $91 total for two of them. That included shipping from Great Britain. So I don't know what this price change is about. That is not in dollars. I understand that, but it's not far off from dollars. And as you can see, this is an age-old pan and tilt mechanism from the old days, old school, with this big metal gear servo that's just substantial. This pan and tilt assembly and this adapter plate or build plate. I want this plate and this. As it says down here, to 390-degree pan, 30-degree of vertical travel in the tilt, it looks like. Hope that's not 15 and 15. Doesn't matter. I just like the second servo in that box because it's a really nice Metal Gear servo. Really, that one's even substantial. By the way, I only paid like $29 a piece for these two kits. Almost 50% in shipping. And you can see right here, here's where it was used. For GoPro Hero 2, 3, and 4 with or without waterproof case. God. Oh, man. Yes, we flew them with the waterproof cases. I flew one on my flame wheel. I haven't flown one on an airplane yet, but I flew one on my flame wheel. So, look at that. That second servo is plastic geared. Blech. That throws it out the window right there. Use it for rovers and stuff. Oh well. So for $29, I got two more servos that I want. Now here's the deal. Look at this. This is 160 grams. So real quick, we'll open this box up. Here's the little pan and tilt assembly and the little other servo. Boy, completely nylon gear, even the output shaft. Man, what cheap junk. Anyway, that mounts in there. There's a little adapter, a little piece that mounts right in here. This right here mounts in these holes, and that gives you a place to stick this connecting rod to this servo, and that'll do your tilt. And let me get this thing apart. There's the little base plate that I want. Might start cutting this down a little smaller or reproduce it in 3D printed parts. Like I said, I'm not going to use this part. It says it even used the water. I don't see that the waterproof case fits in there. But this is the camera itself does quite nicely. You see, then it had a piece of Velcro strap to go around the camera to hold it on. So I'm going to actually throw out, well, no, I'll show you that. case when we get to that part. So there's those pieces. I'll set that aside there. We'll set our love aside here. And then there's various control horns for both servo, and then various mounting screws. We don't include that in the all-up weight. But, ooh, this is the servo I'm after. This is a Titanized metal gear. This is really a substantial servo, which is easily illustrated by putting it on scale at, 69 grams. This waterproof case for GoPro is 72 grams. And the GoPro 2 camera itself is 99 grams. So if we go back up on the screen real quick and look at this 160 grams, even if we just add 99 to it, that's 259 grams. So I'm not doing that with this. And we aren't even looking at the rest. If we used all this, that would be 269 grams. We'd have to use this and this. But I'm just going to use the servo. So I had two of these. I put one of these in the mini Talon. I'm going to put one of them in the Sky Hunter. I've got those over there. And so then I have these two left until I can come up with a better solution. There are good solutions out there. One of the most elegant is a belt-driven system. And one of the most elegant is a gear-driven system. I'll put this back in there later, I guess, so I can get to that on the screen. It's something I don't want to buy due to cost. So I'll store those away to figure out which two platforms they go on. Oops, I didn't put this back in there. Oh well. So if we look up on the screen real quick, we can go to Servo City. And there are 360 items. And basically, this is what you get. Notice it's going to be $300 after shipping easily. But this is the beauty of a belt-driven or a gear-driven. Only value of a gear-driven over belt-driven is these probably never unmesh. I don't know that a belt would either. But this assembly weighs 197 grams. I'm still under that pan and tilt. And it's just a pan. But this is a 7-to-1 gear ratio, so that's really sweet. See, when I use these servos, it's going to bring that camera around fast. But it's totally positional on the pot that I use to control the pulse with, so ever how fast I turn it should be how it turned. But this is still a more elegant solution. I would rather have a belt-driven or gear-driven, but not at this price. I can't handle this. The $29 for a 360-degree servo was a price that would let me just forget about the weight, the 70 grams of weight, 69, whatever, 66. So you can get solutions, and I'm looking towards another solution. This is just something I had been using. I had two of these, like I say, for about 6-8 years. And I ordered these two just for kicks and grins to see if they'd ship them. And they do. I guess they're still going to sell them. I don't know who would really want to use it on a platform. I just want one of the servos out of it was all I wanted. This would be sweet, but I don't know that I could ever pay that much at all. I think probably a belt-driven I have in mind is the best solution. So, I guess that brings us down to the last point, doesn't it? Is why do I like pan and tilt so much? when I was taking flying lessons in the Navy from the military flight instructors, I they were pretty strict. They had a lot of things they did. And just before we did any maneuvers, and a maneuver can be as simple as a student taking a lesson in departure stalls, landing stalls, uh, and then just general stalls at altitude. So before you do anything like that, because if the airplane gets away from the student, they can get into a spin, all sorts of things. Can. Uh, we did clearing turns. Flying Cessnas, high wing. I prefer high wing aircraft. I've only flown one low wing aircraft myself, and that was just for a short period. I just like the view of the ground is much better, in my humble opinion, with a high wing. But your view of the air above that wing, right and left, is hampered badly. So before you do any maneuvers, you do clearing turns. 180-degree turn to the right, 180-degree turn to the left, that kind of thing. That lets you lift both of those wings up high in the air so you can look at that airspace that you couldn't see by just turning your head around in the cockpit and that kind of thing. Then you can do your maneuvers, whether they be student lessons, like I say, on takeoff or departure stalls. They might be out joyriding. Me and Dittler used to take out a Citabra airplane that was extremely aerobatic on weekends. He was one of my instructors, but he was also a classmate in electronics school and a bunk. He was in the same barracks as me, so it's kind of strange to have one of your instructors be somebody who's your age, taking the same school you are, but when you go on the north side, they're completely checked out in all sorts of types of aircraft, but you're a student of that person. So on weekends, he and I'd probably frequently grab a Citabra from another local field and go out and do some really wild aerobatics, because he was also aerobatic qualified. Hammerhead turns, whip stalls, all that kind of stuff. Much more than loops and rolls. Loops and rolls are pretty You even have to do some lazy eights for your commercial pilot. Anyway, those aren't really aerobatics. So I've just got this indoctrinated, built into me, reinforced in me that I kind of agree with the FAA that drones don't have the situational awareness to just go out and do what they want to. So I've planned since 2012, when I started doing radio-controlled airplanes, got to the point where I was doing the airplanes, working up through rovers and verticals and then into airplanes. Every 5 minutes, I planned on doing the equivalent of clearing turns, which means I want my pan and tilt to go all the way to the rear. Now, this could be easily solved with a 180-degree servo with two cameras mounted on it. When one is looking forward, the other one is looking behind. And then you could rotate them 90 degrees right and 90 degrees left and still cover the sky. That gets just a semi-bit complicated when you're wanting to do the tilt along with it, and you're tilting one camera up as you're tilting one camera down. But that doesn't preclude being able to look at the whole sky. All of this is because I just don't want to do any damage anywhere. I don't want to have to suck that up. I've already sucked it up big time one time in life when the honey badger got away from me back in 2013, 2014, something like that. Ran across the road and did $500 worth of damage to a used car in a used car lot. I had to walk down there and identify myself and recover my drone. Actually, I walked up. You can see the video. It's in my videos. I think it's called A Bad Day. I walked up and handed the owner of the place my driver's license. They were so shocked that somebody would come and immediately take responsibility that they were just so cool about the whole thing it wasn't even funny. Uh, they were nice about it. I've done car repairs before, and I'm pretty darn sure his body shop did their work at cost, and we were cool with it. They didn't shoot me. I still lived across from them for 5 or 6 years, and no hard feelings. So that wasn't a very good day. I don't want a repeat of those. Any shape, form, or fashion. It's just not what I want. Plus, again, having had all that ingrained and beaten into me over the years, taking flying lessons from naval instructors instead of commercial civilian instructors, I probably have a abnormal attitude about my pan and tilt and doing clearing turns to make sure things are all safe and copacetic. So that kind of explains my craziness over 360 servos. I can't find a micro 360. This solution's something I've been using for years, and I'd already planned on using on a couple of models before I try to switch over to a belt drive or something. But anyway, I want to share that. And just a remark that they arrived. I didn't believe they were going to arrive, but they did. All right. Thank y'all.